Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. So, continuing with Hojo Undo, one of the special pieces of equipment that the Okinawans use is called Tetsu Getta, which literally is iron sandals. My student Randy Haven got me these lovely iron sandals from the Shureido store in Okinawa many years ago. They're kind of beat up now from use, but I still love them. I've actually made a couple of pairs, or had a couple pairs made myself. These have a wood block on the bottom, so they're less likely to damage the floor. The ones I have metal on the bottom, so I have to put some rubber strips on them before I can use them here in the dojo. But iron sandals are wooden sandals. They are the geta, the two-piece underneath, standard Okinawan Japanese geta, but made of steel. And so they're, as you might guess, fairly heavy. I think these are about 7.5 pounds. Now your standard ankle weight is slightly different in a couple of aspects. Typically, ankle weights come in anywhere from 2.5 to 5 pounds. You can find heavier typically, but because, and this is the law of leverage, the further something is out to the end of the extremity, the more the sensation of weight is felt. If you've ever been on a teeter-totter, you know the farther you sit out on the end, the heavier you are. So if you've got somebody heavier on the other side, they scoot in, you scoot back, it helps balance the thing out. Same with the weights on your feet in this case. If I put a 2.5 pound or a 5 pound ankle weight on my ankle, it's not all the way at the end of my foot, for one thing, so it weighs a little less. The sandals can weigh a little bit more. Again, you can make your own, get them in different weights and vary that. But the other advantage of the Tetsu Getta, in particular, the iron sandal, now outside or on a carpeted or a more solid flooring, or on the grass, I would wear both. But as a method to not damage my floor, I typically only wear one and then balance on my bare foot on the other. But for the sake of demonstration, the other issue with Tetsu Getta, beyond being at the very end of the extremity of your kick, is that you have to grip with your toes and hold on to them. So that makes it a little bit more for foot strengthening as well as the strengthening of the legs for your kicking. So the Tetsu Getta are typically used, as I just did, to practice your kicking techniques. In this case, the Yokogeri Keage with the side-bladed foot. Okay? As a progression, here's how I recommend using them. Again, if you're worried about balance on them because they are a little less stable than some people are accustomed to, you can just do one at a time, go barefoot on the floor for that good sensation of balance that you can get on the floor. Balance here, then you don't have to worry as much about balancing on the sandal. So version A is endurance, the ability to lift your knee and hold. Same thing for a roundhouse kick position, a side kick position. Lift the knee and hold. Go for 10, 15, 20 seconds, whatever you need to, and then repeat on the other leg. The second version, and I'll put them both on here so we can kind of alternate a little bit. The second version is to actually go through the kicking motions. And you can emphasize various portions of the kick. The chamber, the extension, the re-chamber, and down. And you can hold any one, or you can do it a little more quickly. You can snap the kick out. This is where you really have to grip the sandal with your foot, because if you go out with any kind of speed at all, it's very easy for that metal sandal to fly off. So progression-wise, I would start just barefoot on the floor, raise the leg for balance, hold, raise the leg for balance, hold, alternate, go through your various positions. Secondly, raise for balance, then extend the kick. Okay? Raise for balance, extend the side kick, or whatever kick you're going through the motion. You can even go crescent kicking motions, depending on, again, your slipperiness on the floor. So you lift the knee up and around with your crescent kicking motions, and add that in. Then the third level The next level up would be to actually practice holds. To start the kick, extend, hold for a period of time, bring it back in. So we're now starting in close. You're going to have more strength, build up the lifting power. Then with the extension out farther, again with the leverage, if the weight is further out from you, it's obviously going to be a little bit more difficult. So again, the roundhouse kick, for instance, and keep the sandal from flying off. Tetsu Getta are very, very effective for building up the strength in your legs as well as the strength in your feet gripping those sandals, okay? If you can find yourself a pair, make a pair, order them from Seidokan, find a traditional Okinawan source or Japanese source, very useful for strengthening the power of your kicks so that you increase your strength in the legs, hips, feet. Thank you for joining another Seidokan Saturday. Hopefully this little tip helps. In the absence of Tetsu Getta, iron sandals, ankle weights are an acceptable alternative with the understanding that they're not going to give you as much resistance because they're closer in, shortening the lever distance, and you don't have to work your foot muscles quite as much. But in terms of the leg power and the building up of the strength, they can still be very useful. So if you don't have access to the iron sandals or can't get a welder to make you a pair, then having ankle weights is a cheap, easy alternative. Again, thank you for joining Seidokan Saturday, and until next week, keep practicing.